Morning. Today we have a new chicken chore to do because for the first time in this entire winter we are going to experience tonight a night when it's going to freeze below -10, and that is the temperature at which I like to turn on the heating for my chickens, for my lovelies, because like it's just like the temperature that I chose, below which I don't like to have my chickens just be in their roosting bars, without any heating, because I'm afraid that they will get frostbite on their combs because they sleep like this. They don't put their head under their wings because their necks are too short, I guess. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to try to clean as best I can the radiator that I have for them that's been sitting inside the coop for a year. So this is the mini radiator. It is very nasty. And I just want to get it cleared of all the dust that's on it, because that's like a fire hazard. Yeah. I should probably get a rag to do this. Yeah, I'm going to get a rag. I found something even better. Yeah. It is so bright out. It's just the classic the classic weather that we get in Estonia when it's the cold season, which is that it's just yeah. It's completely it's like so few clouds. It is absolutely beautiful winter weather, and my chickens will need the extra warmth. I mean, they the chickens actually don't really properly need the warmth, because they do have a feather coat, literally. They just need something to keep their combs and wattles safe from frostbite. Like, that's the only area of concern. And there are several ways in which that can be achieved. I've seen people use like a heat lamp that is like really on low and only is turned on during the night, and is only heats like the tops of their heads. But I really feel uncertain about using heat lamps, because I just feel like they're a bigger fire hazard than putting a radiator in, because the radiator I'm going to clean it properly, and then I don't have it directly on the bedding, like on the wood shaving bedding, because that would be a fire hazard as well. I have it on cinder blocks. I put it on cinder blocks in the corner. I have a platform above it so that the chickens can't jump on top of it. And yes, basically I am doing everything that I can to keep the chickens' winter warming experience as as safe as I can. And I know for a fact that my fire safety standards are higher than for one of the guys that is across the lake, who literally has a fireplace inside his chicken coop. I have no idea how it's still not all on fire for him, but it somehow works for him. Okay, I think it's good. I used a broom to get all the crevices, so now it's time to set it up. Good morning, girls. I'm sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled egg laying, but I'm gonna do some things now, and I hope that you won't be too spooked. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, and one smart thing that I'm doing is I have put all the I have put my extension cord inside plastic so that it's not going to be dusty and fire hazardous. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, did it turn on? Yep, it turned on. And what I do with this is that I set it on the absolute lowest amount of heat that it can possibly create. So that's just going to, and it is more than enough heat because from previous years I have seen that the lowest amount of heat is going to create like a very mild climate at the top of the coop, like close to the ceiling where they sleep. And it's going to be like around 0 degrees. Like I can see the ice on the walls from the moisture that is inevitably present in the coop, and it's going to be close to 0 at the top, which is like plenty of heat for them. Yeah, you'll be good. And now I'm gonna give you some treats, but that's gonna happen outside. Hello. You're gonna get treats now. Yeah, you're gonna get treats. Yeah. You're happy chickies. Now I'm going to spend a little bit of time just standing around here and like making sure that the insides of the radiator are clean enough that it won't spontaneously combust, because I am anxious like that. And then hopefully it's just going to be fine and I can leave it be for the couple nights that we are going to get the below -10 weather. But the chickens are not happy with me for keeping the door open because they want to lay their eggs in peace. It's for your own good that I'm keeping this door open. There's no need to scream. Greta, you can lay your egg with me here. It's fine. In other news, this is what my life has become indoors. I am sorting wool. So what I'm doing at the moment is I am taking the completely raw wool that I got from this sheep grower near Bulva, and I am sorting out the bits of the wool that are too poopy to even try to wash. So those poopy bits are going here, and then I am sorting the wool into different colors because she had like some sheep that have this like a dark brown, almost black wool, and then mostly I got this grayish wool. Like I'm not sure what color it's going to be once it's been washed, but that's going to be the next step, and I am only halfway done with sorting this wool, so this is going to take some time. and it's very smelly work. Like it smells like sheep very strongly in here now. But it's not an unpleasant smell. It's just a bit poopy. And what I'm going to do with the bits that are too poopy, I'm going to be using them in the garden as mulch, because the internet has told me that it's a good idea to use it for that. I'm not sure how well it's going to break down in my garden, but I guess we'll see, because I do need mulch. Like last year in my gardening, I wasn't very good with the mulching properly, and my plants suffered because of it, because of all the heat that we had. So this year I'm definitely going to be mulching very well, and some of the mulch is going to be wool that's too poopy to use for anything else. And like I am a little bit sad about the waste, because like I know that if I only like worked harder to wash the poopy bits, I would be able to like use it for like actual spinning eventually. But that would be a lot more work, and I don't even know how much work the washing of the wool is going to be, because that's the next step and I haven't gotten to it yet. Like, I don't really know what the optimal cleanliness level is that I should be striving for, because I have never done this before. So I might be, so like there is a possibility that I might be taking like leaving too many like slightly poopy bits inside the wool that I am like putting in the processing pile. But like I'm not going to know that until I start the next phases of this work. So like it's a learning process. I'm going to be taking you along for this whole ride. Alright, I have finally, hours later, I have finally sorted all of the wool. Now I have this big bag and this big bag that are all just poopy wool that's going to become mulch for the garden. It was like a solid, like I have read that when you sort the wool yourself, then like about a third or maybe even up to a half of the wool that you start with is going to end up as too poopy to like do anything with. So I think the percentage of wool that I have like just taken out of the equation is fair, and I have ended up with one very big pile of sort of light gray wool, one smaller pile that is like kind of like a darker grayish like brown, like I'm not sure what color this is going to turn out to be once it's washed, and then I have a smaller pile of black wool. And so now I have to just store them into big bags of their own, because I can't really keep them in the house. I'm going to take them back into the shed and just take the wool, like take small amounts of wool as I wash it. Yes. This is hard work. There's so much that goes into making the wool actually ready for spinning, but it's so interesting. I'm very happy, even though I'm tired. Okay. Okay, now that I have swept, vacuumed, and washed the floor of the living room and taken all of the wool where it needs to go, welcome to the bathroom, where we are going to be washing the very first fleece of wool. So for doing this, I am just using one of these big vats. This is actually one of the ones that I used to like as a brooder for my chicks. Like I kept the chicks in there because it was like very easy to clean. And so now I have just washed, like sort of just scrubbed and rinsed it. So now I'm going to be filling it with like not even lukewarm, just like room temperature-ish water, and then I'm going to be soaking the wool in there for a couple hours. And as my instructions, I'm using this book that my mom got me. It's like in Estonian, it's from wool to yarn, and it says that before you can wash the wool with like actual like wash it like detergent, you need to soak the wool in like several hours, and only then you can do the hot water and I'm probably going to use just regular dish soap, like rinses. Hoping that this will be enough water. I didn't really fill the vat all the way to the top, but the way that I'm going to be washing the wool is I'm going to use a big piece of tulle to sort of keep the wool in one piece. So I'm going to be putting it like here, or maybe I should, yeah, this is fine. And then I'm going to take the fleece and just dump it all in here. Yeah. And because wool is not very, like, wool doesn't like to take in the water very well, so I have to sort of push it down so that it will actually get soaked. And I can already see how like that nasty the water is. So I'm going to just push it all in so that it can have a nice soak. And then I will come back to it in like 2 hours. Okay, the wool has been sitting in the water for about 3 hours, and if I'm honest, it's looking pretty nasty. But before I'm going to drain it, I have to check if the water that's coming from the shower is going to be hot enough for the next like actual proper wash of the wool, because it needs to be about 60 degrees Celsius, which is quite hot. So I'm just going to check if the shower can produce that. Okay, so let's see, because it felt very hot, so I'm hoping that it will be good enough and that I won't have to actually boil any water for actually washing the wool. Okay, it looks like it's going to be only 50 degrees. So I'm going to check my book if that's good enough for actually washing the wool. Okay, the book says that the water needs to be at least 55 degrees, so I'm just going to say that it's like good enough and use the hottest water that the shower can produce for washing the wool. So let's try draining this thing now. Okay, let's just grab the tool and just pull it out of the water. Oh, it is heavy. Wow, the water is so nasty. It's incredibly brown and poopy. So I'm just going to strain it a little. That's strained enough, I think. Going to put this here. And now for the difficult part. Yeah, I'm just going to slowly pour this water down. To rinse out this tub again because it was seriously disgusting. And the shower and the I'm going to deal with the floor later. And now to fill the tub with hot water from the shower. Now that I have the tub full of water, I'm just going to add like a pretty liberal amount of dishwasher detergent. Because like there is a proper like amount ratio like that relates to the amount of wool that you have, but I didn't weigh the wool and I'm not going to be able to weigh the water, so I'm just going to put like a random amount and hope that it's enough. and then I'm using a big ass spoon to just incorporate the detergent into the water, because it's important to keep it as little foamy as possible, because once you get foam into wool, you're never going to be able to get it out. And I've learned that from from reading things about like wool things before. So now that we have a lovely and clean water bath, I'm going to add back the pre-soaked wool. And okay, I'm going to use the spoon to push it more in. And now it's going to sit here for about 20 minutes before I strain it. And probably, I'm thinking, because the wool was pretty nasty to begin with, I'm going to probably repeat this soaking with the dishwasher detergent twice. So that I'm going to like have 2 soaks with the actual detergent, and then I'm going to have several soaks of just regular water to get the detergent out. So yes, let's do this. I absolutely love how pretty the frost is when it's super, super cold, and it's just so clear. And during the night you can see the stars, and it's just the sun shines every morning. Ah, the cold snap is so beautiful. And it's not even like the absolute coldest that we got last year. Like last year we got like minus 20 something, but this year it's only been like minus 13, 15-ish at most. How are we doing? How are we enjoying the sunshine? My ladies and gentlemen. Hi. Are we all doing all right? How are we? I can see some cold damage on the comb of the rooster. That's not great. Now I did check the temperature when I put them to bed, like on those last few cold nights that we've had, and like the temperatures were like really good. They were like all pretty much around 0, close to the roof, and like close to the ceiling where they sleep. And so I don't really understand how he got the frostbite. Like maybe it's just like from him being outside. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a shame, but I can't do anything about it anymore. Yeah, because I can't really stop him from being outside if he wants to be outside, you know? I also gathered the first eggs of the day, because when it's really cold outside, then they can freeze, and when eggs freeze, they pop open and then I can't use them. So I just have to collect the eggs more often. But after tonight, it should get like somewhat warmer here, so I might actually turn off the radiator for the chickens in a few days. Like I'll let them get used to the warmer weather, or the slightly warmer weather. Well, I finally assembled my hand carders, and I have been just spending several days carding the wool, like picking and carding the wool, because it took several days for the wool that I washed on Sunday to dry. Like it's been a full week since then, and I think it was dry at about on about Thursday. I need to get like a proper drying rack for doing it next time, because the sauna didn't really, it just kind of held on to the moisture too much, and I had to flip the wool several times, and it took longer than it should have. But now I have been carding, which basically the majority of the time that it takes is just taking the locks of wool and getting rid of all the like dirt and stuff that's in it, like it takes like an incredibly large amount of time, and because the carding itself doesn't actually get rid of it, I have to get rid of all the tiniest bits of vegetable matter myself. And that is like, it takes a humongous amount of time, but it is also like the most relaxing thing. It's like more relaxing than even spinning the wool. Like it's just so nice. And then I put it onto like a one hand carder like this, and I fill it all up. And once I have it all filled up, I will show you how I actually card it. All right, I have the carder kind of full. I am actually not like completely certain how full like is good to like pack your carder, but basically what I do is what I do with the full carder is then I hold it like this, and I start at the very ends of at the very tips of the wool fibers, and I just start pulling, and I start from further out with every pull. And you're supposed to pull like very gently, like you just let the carders like wires just whisper together. I'm not very good at that yet. And then now that I have like gone over the whole thing, and as much as could be transferred to the other one has been transferred, I switch it up like this, and I do it again starting from the tips, and it just gets nice and fluffy. And what this does basically is that it aligns all the fibers so that it will be like better, like easier to spin later on. Okay. Ah, it's so pretty. And then I flip it over again. And I learned this from YouTube. And I do this one last time. And I actually did find my grandmother's old carders from the garage that my dad has like preserved, but those are like, those have seen some things. Like those were very raggedy, so I wanted new ones, so I bought new ones. Okay, and for the last, and now I'm ready to like get all the fibers out of the carders, just gently like this. And then I push the sides in a little bit because they always like go fluffy and like outwards, and then I start rolling it like this into like a sausage. It's so soft and fluffy. I love it. This takes a little bit of concentration. Okay, and then I do whoop, and then we have a sausage. And it takes me a very long time to like the carding itself, as you saw, doesn't take long at all, but like just filling up the carder with the picked wool, like picking the actual wool, is what is like the most time consuming part of this whole thing. And it takes just like it is like a test of patience. But as I will be showing you, I have like I have already done this many of the like, yeah, yeah, and they're not perfect. Like they still have some like vegetable matter inside them, so it's like not going to be the cleanest yarn that I make from this, but like it's still my own, and it's like handmade. It's going to be handmade yarn from the very start to the finish. So I am still like very happy about this whole project of like making my own yarn. I need to figure out a better way to store them, because they take up a lot of space because it's just so fluffy. But yes, I'm going to need to make like a whole bunch more of these to get like a good amount of yarn, and I can't even really spin this yet because currently I am spinning the pre-drafted yarn, and I want to finish spinning that before I go into a different kind of spinning. So as we say in Estonia, I have many irons in the fire at the moment, but the wool projects bring me joy. Although I am pretty worried about whether or not I will actually be able to like fully make into yarn the entire like 40 something kilos of wool that I bought, because like it took me almost a week for the very first like batch of wool to just be washed and dried, and then it has taken me days, like several days, to just do this. And this is like such a small percentage of the actual wool that I have bought. So I may have bitten off more than I can chew, but I'm still going to work on like the wool as much as like for as long as it brings me joy, basically. And I still haven't gotten the hand combs for the wool. Like these are the carders, and the wool that you get from those is these sausages. But but the hand combs work a little bit differently from the carders. And once I get those, I will show you that as well, because I am very hyped to try that out. And like I am kind of hoping that maybe I won't have to pick the wool so rigorously for the hand combs, but we'll see about that once they arrive and I can try them out.